In the bold and the beautiful, obsession has never been a quiet emotion. It does not fade politely into the background or accept rejection with dignity. It waits, it watches, and it learns. This is the emotional terrain upon which the next chapter of Sheila, Deacon, and Taylor unfolds. A chapter defined not by sudden explosions, but by the terrifying patience of a woman who believes love is something to be seized, defended, and punished when threatened. What begins as jealousy deepens into calculation, and what appears at first to be coincidence soon reveals itself as intent. For Sheila Carter Sharp, the realization comes slowly, like a tightening grip rather than a single sharp blow. She notices the changes in Deacon before she allows herself to name them. His attention wanders. His responses lose their heat. The man who once orbited around her volatility now seems grounded elsewhere, steadied by something she cannot touch. When she begins to follow him, at first out of curiosity, then out of compulsion, she does not tell herself she is stalking. She tells herself she is confirming what she already knows in her bones. That Taylor Hayes has become more than a therapist, more than a confidant. She has become a threat. Sheila watches from a distance as Deacon and Taylor move through moments of shared vulnerability that feel intimate even when they are silent. She sees the way Deacon's posture softens in Taylor's presence, the way Taylor's guarded professionalism slips just enough to reveal genuine care. These are not imagined signals or paranoid projections. They are real, unmistakable markers of emotional connection. Each glance exchanged between them feels to Sheila like theft. Each shared laugh feels like betrayal. The jealousy that rises within her is not merely emotional, it is existential. Taylor represents a future in which Sheila is no longer central, no longer needed, no longer feared. The moment Deacon and Taylor finally cross the line into undeniable intimacy does not arrive with dramatic declarations. It arrives in stillness, in a pause that lasts too long, in the realization that neither of them wants to step away. When their closeness becomes physical, it is less about passion than about surrender. The surrender to feelings they have both tried to manage, rationalize, and deny. They are not reckless, but they are honest, and that honesty binds them in a way that feels both liberating and dangerous. Neither of them sees Sheila watching, but the consequences of that unseen gaze are already taking shape. For Sheila, witnessing this closeness is intolerable. Love, in her mind, is possession, and possession must be defended. She does not lash out immediately. Instead, she retreats into planning, into the cold clarity that has always made her most dangerous. She convinces herself that Taylor needs to be reminded of her place. Not eliminated, not yet, but warned. A small accident, she reasons. Something subtle enough to deny intent but frightening enough to establish dominance. In Sheila's warped logic, fear is a form of communication. The accident unfolds with chilling precision. It is minor by design, an unexpected hazard, a moment of imbalance, an injury that will heal. Taylor is hurt, shaken but alive, her body bruised and her sense of safety fractured. The physical damage is limited, but the psychological impact is profound. For the first time, Taylor feels the shadow of Sheila not as an abstract threat spoken of by others, but as a tangible force capable of reaching into her life. The incident leaves her questioning every assumption about boundaries, distance, and protection. It is Deacon Sharp who feels the shift most acutely. Seeing Taylor injured breaks through whatever denial he has been clinging to. The danger he once minimized becomes undeniable, and with it comes a surge of guilt that is impossible to ignore. He understands, with devastating clarity, that his continued connection to Sheila has created a pathway for harm. The realization forces him to confront a truth he has long avoided. Sheila will never stop being a threat as long as she believes she has a claim on him. Deacon's confrontation with Sheila is raw and unfiltered. Gone is the careful balancing act, the attempts to placate or redirect her volatility. He questions her directly, his concern for Taylor overriding his instinct for self-preservation. Sheila denies nothing outright, but her reaction, defensive, indignant, and disturbingly calm, confirms everything Deacon fears. In that moment, he sees her not as a complicated partner or a wounded soul, but as a constant danger capable of justifying any action in the name of love. The moral weight of this realization crushes Deacon. He is forced to examine his own responsibility, to acknowledge that every compromise he made with Sheila, every excuse he offered himself, has led to this point. Loving Taylor now means more than choosing happiness, it means choosing accountability. It means refusing to hide behind secrecy or fear. Deacon understands that silence has protected Sheila far more than it has protected anyone else. His decision to go public with his relationship with Taylor is not impulsive. It is deliberate, defiant, and deeply personal. By claiming Taylor openly, he removes the shadows Sheila thrives in. He makes it clear, to her and to the world, that Taylor is not a secret, not a weakness, and not negotiable. When he tells Sheila that he will protect Taylor at any cost, it is not a threat, it is a boundary. For Sheila, that boundary is an unforgivable betrayal. Sheila's reaction is volcanic. The rage that erupts is fueled not only by jealousy but by humiliation. To be denied, to be replaced openly, is an affront she cannot accept quietly. Her vow of retaliation is not shouted, it is promised with chilling restraint. Sheila does not need to explain how she will respond. Her history speaks loudly enough. Taylor, caught between gratitude and fear, is deeply moved by Deacon's resolve. His willingness to stand between her and danger affirms the depth of his feelings. Yet it also sharpens her awareness of what loving him may cost. She knows Sheila's capacity for escalation, understands that protection does not guarantee safety. The happiness she feels is inseparable from dread, and that duality defines her internal struggle. As Deacon and Taylor prepare to face what lies ahead, their bond transforms. It is no longer just romantic, it is strategic, resilient, and rooted in mutual resolve. They speak openly about risks, about fear, about the need to remain united even when pressure mounts. Their love does not blind them to danger, it steels them against it. They choose each other not because it is safe, but because it is honest. This storyline does not promise peace. It promises confrontation, consequence, and courage. Sheila's obsession has been exposed but not extinguished. Deacon's choice has been made, but it carries a cost. Taylor's heart is open, but her future is uncertain. In the bold and the beautiful, love is rarely gentle, and happiness is never unchallenged. As these three lives collide, the question is no longer whether Sheila will strike again, but whether love, once chosen without fear, can survive the storm she is determined to unleash. In the bold and the beautiful, the moment Deacon publicly claims Taylor is the moment the fragile balance holding Sheila at bay finally collapses. What follows is not an immediate explosion, but something far more dangerous: calculation. Sheila Carter Sharp retreats into silence. And those who know her best understand that silence is never peace. It is preparation. The promise she made to Deacon is not forgotten or softened by time. It hardens, crystallizing into a singular objective. If she cannot have him, then she will make certain no one else ever feels safe loving him. For Deacon Sharp, the decision to stand openly with Taylor Hayes brings an unexpected clarity. Fear no longer paralyzes him, it sharpens him. Every instinct he once used to placate Sheila now turns outward, focused on anticipation rather than denial. He becomes vigilant, alert to patterns he once ignored. A missed call feels deliberate. A shadow lingering too long outside Taylor's office feels threatening. Deacon understands now that loving Taylor means living in a heightened state of awareness. And he accepts that cost without hesitation. Taylor, meanwhile, undergoes her own transformation. The brush with danger strips away the last remnants of illusion she carried about control. Years of professional training taught her to believe that insight could prevent chaos, that understanding motives could neutralize harm. Sheila shatters that belief. Taylor realizes that some people do not seek healing, they seek dominance. This realization forces her to confront a truth she has avoided. Her role is no longer just that of a therapist or observer. She is now a participant in a conflict that demands strength rather than analysis. Sheila's first move after her vow is subtle, almost elegant in its cruelty. She does not target Taylor directly. Instead, she destabilizes the environment around her. Anonymous tips appear. Rumors resurface about Taylor's professional boundaries. Whispers spread questioning her ethics, her judgment, her credibility. The goal is not immediate destruction, but erosion. Sheila wants Taylor isolated, doubting herself, forced to defend her integrity rather than enjoy her happiness. Every accusation feels like a reminder that loving Deacon comes with collateral damage. The pressure mounts quickly. Taylor finds herself under scrutiny, not only from colleagues but from regulatory boards that suddenly take interest in her past decisions. Though no rules have been broken, the investigation itself becomes a weapon. Sleepless nights return. Anxiety seeps into moments that should feel safe. Deacon watches this unfold with mounting rage, recognizing Sheila's fingerprints on every escalation. The guilt resurfaces, not because he regrets choosing Taylor, but because he knows he led danger straight to her door. Refusing to retreat, Deacon takes a step that shocks everyone, including Sheila. He documents everything: patterns, timelines, past incidents, building a clear narrative of Sheila's behavior. This is not the impulsive Deacon of old, acting on emotion and bravado. This is a man who has learned the cost of chaos and chooses preparation instead. He begins working quietly with legal counsel and security professionals, determined to ensure that Sheila's next move cannot hide behind ambiguity. Sheila senses the shift immediately. Deacon is no longer reactive, he is proactive. This realization infuriates her more than rejection ever could. To her, Deacon's transformation feels like betrayal layered upon betrayal. She convinces herself that Taylor has not only stolen him, but changed him, turned him against his true nature, against the connection Sheila believes they share. In her distorted logic, reclaiming Deacon requires removing Taylor entirely. Not as a warning this time, but as a permanent solution. The danger escalates one night when Taylor notices she is being followed. The fear is immediate, visceral, nothing like the abstract anxieties she once analyzed in others. She feels hunted. When Deacon confirms that Sheila has violated a restraining order he quietly secured, the situation crosses into undeniable crisis. The illusion of control collapses completely. This is no longer about emotional rivalry. It is about survival. The confrontation that follows is inevitable and explosive. Sheila corners Deacon, her composure cracking under the weight of obsession and rage. She accuses him of abandonment, of hypocrisy, of pretending to be righteous while destroying her life. Deacon does not raise his voice. His calm only enrages her further. He tells her, with unwavering certainty, that he will not sacrifice another person to appease her instability. He makes it clear that this time, there will be consequences she cannot manipulate away. Taylor's involvement in the confrontation changes everything. When she steps forward, not as a victim, but as a woman refusing to be intimidated, Sheila's reaction becomes frighteningly unpredictable. For a brief moment, it is impossible to tell whether she will retreat or attack. The tension is suffocating, charged with the knowledge that Sheila's next choice could be irrevocable. Intervention arrives just in time, preventing tragedy but confirming the severity of the threat. In the aftermath, the stakes are unmistakable. Sheila is no longer merely an emotional danger, she is a legal and physical one. Protective measures intensify, allies rally, lines are drawn that cannot be erased. Taylor, shaken but resolute, refuses to step away. Her choice is no longer about romance alone. It is about reclaiming agency in the face of terror. Deacon, witnessing her strength, understands that love is not something he must shield her from, but something they must defend together. As the storyline moves forward, peace remains elusive but purpose replaces fear. Deacon and Taylor operate as a unit, their bond forged not by secrecy but by shared resolve. They prepare not for a quiet life, but for an honest one, knowing full well the storm that follows them. Sheila, restrained but unrepentant, watches from the edges, her obsession wounded but not extinguished. This continuation marks a turning point in the bold and the beautiful. Love is no longer portrayed as a refuge from danger, but as a reason to confront it. Deacon's redemption becomes real not because he escapes his past, but because he refuses to let it destroy someone else. Taylor's strength emerges not from her training, but from her courage to remain present despite fear. And Sheila, more dangerous than ever, becomes the embodiment of a truth the show has long explored. Obsession does not fade when exposed. It adapts, waiting for the moment when vigilance falters.